Alice and I were in pretty bad shape in our marriage and in our relationship. I finally realized that the hostile situation we were creating in our home was more toxic to our children than us divorcing. I was either gonna fight for my marriage or I was gonna leave, and well, I was tired of fighting.
I wanted out. I had given up all hope and did not care to try to fix it. I did not want my children growing up in a loveless marriage.
I talked it over with my pastor who I serve with in full-time ministry, and I asked him if we could continue to do ministry together if I was to get a divorce. And he encouraged Alice and I to go see his friends, Mark and Pam, who are Life Impact staff. I didn't think it would work, but I respected my pastor enough to go ahead and go. But if he wouldn't have asked me to go, I wouldn't have gone.
I dreaded the trip. I only went because our pastor suggested it, but my mind was really made up to divorce. I was prepared to be a single mother co-parenting with Donovan when we returned. We had already started prepping our children for the split.
But then we experienced the ministry of Life Impact, and Mark and Pam told us that they were expecting the Holy Spirit to minister to us. And I'm thinking in my head, yeah, I've heard this before. But I was so spiritually drained, but God had a plan.
When we made it to Bethesda House, I was comforted that there were 2 bedrooms in our sleeping area and that it was so spacious that I did not have to be around Donovan all the time. Little did I know that it was so peaceful and comforting that all I wanted to do was just snuggle up with him.
Mark and Pam were skillful at getting Alice and I to listen to each other empathetically. We were able to trace traumatic events from our childhood that impacted the way Alice and I treated each other. I allowed the negative things that my dad said to me when I was young to be the lens through which I interpreted Alice's response to things that I would share with her. And we had not seen many successful marriages modeled before us, and the divorce rate in my family was shocking. I became determined to fight for our marriage and our ministry.
The exercises that we worked through at Bethesda helped me see how I was being very hard on myself, pushing love away. Therefore, I was not able to give out love. They taught me how to understand who I was, how I was wired, how to love and appreciate myself, and that God has always been right there with me. And I found out that who my fight was with the enemy and not my husband.
The experience that we had being at Bethesda was so transformational that Alice and I went out to their hammock and laid there in unbelief at how God had tremendously used the ministry of Life Impact to heal our broken marriage and equip us for future ministry. By the end of the week, we were in love with each other again, and it was literally unbelievable. We were like, how did this happen? Who are these people? A sense of appreciation and gratitude just overwhelmed us.
Mark and Pam were very transparent with us and related to us. Seeing them interact with each other helped me let my guard down and really appreciate all they had to pour into our lives. I enjoyed the quiet time we got to spend with each other and with God. When out in kayaking, I conquered my fear of water, learned how to trust my husband with my life, not knowing how to swim. I smiled and laughed more in those few days than I had all year, and it felt great. Everyone had benefited from our visit to Life Impact's Bethesda House. Our family, our friends, co-workers, ministry, and church community. They could see the happiness in our marriage and the joy in our hearts for one another again. I constantly was asked, what happened? And the comments were like, wow, you guys look really happy. I like this, Alice and Donovan.
Couldn't wait to share our experience with our kids. As soon as we got back home, they have seen and been very happy about the dramatic change in our marriage. And there's no doubt about it. God used the ministry of Life Impact to save our marriage and our ministry.